A very funny guy. He's killing it. He works here all the time. Help me bring up the hilarious Grav!
Let's keep it going for Ariel. Doing a lovely job. It was a very nice introduction he just gave me. And I should know, I've heard a terrible introduction before. Class is in session. And I'm a cool teacher. I'll let you guys smoke weed in here. And if you're really good, we'll watch a movie on Friday. I was going to say, that's a really good introduction, because I know bad introductions. My dad once introduced me to a room full of people by saying, and here's the other one. So, it's all top shelf after that. I just passed a milestone recently that I'm pretty proud of. I've now been living in Toronto for 10 years. Thank you. But because I grew up in farm country, all of my friends from the city still think I'm a hick. But I learned recently that back home, because I've been living in Toronto for 10 years, everyone there thinks I'm queer. Easy come, easy go, I suppose. I do love living in the city. One of the things that I love about Toronto is I love that it's so diverse. We got people from all over the world rubbing shoulders, living together. It's great, because where I grew up, it was so white, racism had become theoretical. Just farmers standing around being like, I think if Asians lived on this road, I'd be angry. No way to know. I will say this for the country, though. We deal with wildlife a lot better than you city folks do. Just putting that out there. Because in the country, wild animals are afraid of people. It's not supposed to be the other way around. You guys just have legions of gangster raccoons and thug skunks rolling up on you. Tried to take my recycling out the other night and had a knife pulled on me. It's like, Jesus, buddy, the pizza box is yours. I didn't see your face. I didn't see your face. This is how I know we're better at dealing with them. Because when I was 7 years old, a raccoon tried to get into our trash, and then I watched as my father picked up a snow shovel, hit the raccoon in the face, and then while it was stunned, scooped it up, and then catapulted that fucker into the neighbor's backyard. Put the shovel on the ground, looked me dead in the eye, and said, "That's how you deal with raccoons." Let me tell you, 10 years ago when I moved to Toronto, I learned very quickly that is not how you deal with raccoons. You have some very pissed off neighbors knocking at your door. You ruined our son's birthday party! Should have just told him it was a crazy piñata. Yeah, no, I didn't even grow up like in a small town. I grew up in the country proper. Like you might hear some people go, "Oh, I grew up in a small town." Be like, "Yeah, how many people were there?" Who's wealth? No, fuck you. If the GO bus stops in your town, that is officially a city. It's not a town. You have a means of escape, sir. I grew up a 15-minute drive outside of a town of 300. Yeah. A lot of inbreeding. Just giant ears and sunken chins. Being like, "She's pretty, she ain't even that cross-eyed." Town's full of mixed messages, though. The only gas station in town was right beside the only bar in town. Kind of seems like a little dicey. Be like, "Well, filling up this tank, might as well go fill up this one." And drunk driving was a big problem. And every couple of years, one guy would come out of the bar and he'd be like, "No, tonight I'm going to do the honorable thing and I'm going to walk home." And then get hit by a drunk driver. The cycle completed itself. I will say this though, doing drugs, way better to do them in the city. Way better, hands down. You might get some people. Who here has just ever done magic mushrooms or just heard of them? Just by a round of applause. So a lot of you might be thinking, no, you do magic mushrooms in the country. Bullshit. Bullshit. You do magic mushrooms in the country and you're just going to be like, whoa, trees. And more trees. And nothing interesting happens. This is how I found this out. A couple of years ago, a friend and I sat down to do some magic mushrooms. We did 7 grams each in one sitting. Every time I say this joke, some people go, whoa, and one person always says, Jesus Christ, or fuck no. Someone who knows. So after we eat the mushrooms, we're like, oh, we're almost out of cigarettes. We gotta go to the store. And we peeked in the store. And then got lost leaving the store. Which was really impressive because it was across the street from my friend's apartment building. And I'm like, what do we do? And he said, we're going on an adventure. We become convinced that the streetcar tracks were electrified, so we were walking over them like high-stepping them. Just yelling at people who would walk right across, like, you fool, you're gonna die! A couple of hours in, my friend just grabs me on the shoulder, he says, hey, we gotta go into the woods. I'm like, okay. There's no woods to go into in Toronto. So at 2:30 in the morning on a Tuesday, we walked into Allen Gardens. Some of you are laughing because you know. For those of you who don't, Allen Gardens is a park up at Carleton and Sherbourne, and at 2:30 in the morning, generally renowned for its wide availability of crack cocaine and cheap blowjobs. Just tops. We're walking through the park, and then out from the shadows comes a thug, a ruffian, a bandit. Pulls out a knife and he says, give me all your shit. Without missing a beat, my friend looks him square in the eye and says, why? The mugger was not expecting this reply. And he reiterated his original point, just give me all your shit. My friend puts his hand on the guy's chest and says, yeah, but why? This mugger's world was caving in on him. You could see it in his eyes. He thought he'd done everything right. He's like, check 1, pull out the knife. Check 2, demand the shit. Check 3, get the shit, go home. None of this was working out for him. So as this guy's having an internal fucking apocalypse, my friend reaches out, touches him again, and says, hey, it's cool. Give me the knife. And the guy did. Friend puts the knife in his belt loop. We saunter off like fucking wizards. Finally make it back to my buddy's apartment, pulls the knife right out of his belt, and just plants that fucker through his coffee table and looks at me and says, spoils of war.